Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am filming from one of the most beautiful places in the entire world. I am in Hawaii on vacation with my family, and we are going to go for supper soon, but I decided I'm going to film a quick video of my December wrap up and some goals I have going forward into the new year with reading. So far, I have read 9 books, and I'm on my 10th. I may or may not finish tomorrow, The Butterfly Garden. I'm loving it so far, and I'm only 15% in, but I would not be surprised if I finish it before the new year. So I will wrap that up in another video if I do end up finishing it. However, I had a slow start because work, end of the year, I wasn't feeling well. But since being here, I've read 6 books, so 3 before I left, 6 since being on vacation, and I'm just loving having all the time in the world to read. So let's get into my December reading wrap up. Okay, so the first book I read in December, this was actually an audiobook sent to me in ARC. It is One of Our Own by Lucinda Berry, and I devoured this audiobook. I have not loved an audiobook like this one in a very long time. I'm not much of an audiobook girly. However, this one was so hard to stop listening to. I was at my boyfriend's and he was studying, and I just laid in his bed and listened to this while he was finishing up studying for his final. So I give this book 4.5 stars. So Felicia is a volunteer at a suicide prevention hotline, a single mother, and a lawyer. One night, she receives a call that changes everything. A teenage girl calls in and tearfully tells Felicia she doesn't want to be here anymore and plans to commit suicide. Before Felicia knows what she's doing, she breaks protocol and gives the girl her personal phone number. And as she begins communicating with the teen through her personal cell phone, she learns that she was a victim of sexual assault at a party in the exact town that she lives in. As she learns more details about the event, she realizes this girl goes to her son's school and that her son was at the exact same party the teenage girl who got assaulted at. So there's no way her son, who was the captain of the cross-country team, a straight-A student, could have been involved. However, as more details emerge, Felicia begins to doubt everything she knows about her son. And yeah, I basically just said, wow, this book was insane, one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to. They did a phenomenal job, and 4.5 stars. Alright, the next book that I read was Lessons in Chemistry. This was my book club's November/December book club pick. And this was a highly anticipated book. I watched the show as well, and I really did enjoy that. So Elizabeth Zott is a chemist in the early 60s. She works at an all-male science institution where she is neither respected or treated as an equal as the other male chemists. However, she meets one male chemist who is as quirky as her and ends up falling in love with her brilliance. With time, things change, and years later, Elizabeth finds herself as a single mother as a host of a famous cooking show. Her famously yet infamous cooking show challenges the norms of how women behave and the status of female roles at that time. So, this book reminded me how much I hate patriarchy. It took me it was slow for me to get into this one. I would pick this book up and it would take me a while, but then I'd be hooked. I'd put it down, repeat. It took me a while to actually pick it up and get hooked into it. So it took me a while to read this book. It took me almost over 2 weeks. I found this book laugh out loud funny, worky, but also inspiring as a woman. So yeah, this one got 3.5 stars from me. Okay, the next book I read was Memoir by Jeanette Walls. It took me so many years to read this book. I don't know why it took me so long to read, but that is The Glass Castle, and my review is loading. Okay, so Jeanette Walls' memoir recalls her childhood into adolescence with dysfunctional yet unique family. Growing up with a drunk father, a free-spirited mother, Jeanette and her 3 siblings have fed for themselves from a very young age, showing resilience and prosperity. This was the book that got me to my reading goal, and I kind of talked about it in the last video, but wow, this book was so good. I don't know why are people not talking about it? I'm sure they are talking about it more, but wow, this book, it read so much like a fiction book, and the fact that I had to like keep reminding myself like, holy, Jeanette went through this is real. It was crazy. Okay, the next book I read, really short, Christmassy book, thriller, The Gift by Freida McFadden. This book is like 50 pages, but I'm like, let's get into the Christmas spirit here a little bit. So, in this book, a woman named Stella is closing up at her waitressing job on Christmas Eve, and there's one thing on her mind, and that is getting the perfect Christmas gift for her husband, as it is their first Christmas together as a couple, as husband and wife. And the problem is, Stella is completely broke. However, in the restaurant appears a mysterious woman who happens to own a pawn shop, and this woman seems to know a little bit about Stella already, or Stella might just be in her head about it. She doesn't really know. But she offers Stella a trade if she comes by her shop that night. So Stella does. However, the gift comes at a worse price than money. The trade. So this is a novelette, and it's a perfect book to help you read your reading goal. End of year Christmassy read, because it's about Christmas and Christmas gift. I found the premise intriguing of this book, yet it was just so bizarre and not fully for me. I'm so glad it was a quick read, just a quick 50-page book to quickly sit down and crush. So that got 3 stars for me. So not awful, not great. Okay, the next book I read was The Mothers by Britt Bennett, and that is Britt Bennett's debut novel. She also wrote The Vanishing Half, which I'm super excited to read in the new year. Hopefully, like, I can read it on this trip. So Britt Bennett's novel, The Mothers, takes place in a contemporary Black community in California, and we follow the lives of Nadia, who is mourning the recent suicide of her mother, and then Luke, who is the pastor's son in the town. Nadia and Luke have a passionate young love that falls short due to a pregnancy, and throughout their lives, they are haunted and reminded of this pregnancy, the secrets, and the what-ifs. So this book has been sitting again on my shelf for way too long, and it was gifted by one of my best friends last Christmas. I should have read it way sooner, sorry witch, but I did crush this book. Once I got into it, at first I'm like, what is this? What is this going to be about? Because the back of the book, I was a little confused. But once you get into it, you're following the lives of these two, and you really just kind of get invested into what's going on. I did find both of them very annoying. I didn't like either of the main characters, but I did like following along with their lives. They were so, it was like seeing a train wreck. You can't stop watching, yet it's so awful, their lives and the decisions they made, not the book. But the whole concept of the mothers, I understand it, I just don't know if it was necessary, but maybe I'm missing a point with that. Yeah, if it's a heart-crushing contemporary love story with so much betrayal and loss. My sister's staring into the window. But yeah, this one got 3.5 stars from me. Okay, the next book I read was Keep Your Friends Close by Lucinda Berry. Lucinda Berry herself sent me this arc at the time, and it's taken me a while to read it, so it's no longer an arc, but my queen. So, this book I found very different than her other books. This was more of like a popcorn thriller type book. So it's murder mystery meets Rich Housewives. They call themselves the Hollywood Moms Club, and they're having a party one night, and the host of the party, one of the friends, the mother's part of this group, turns up dead. And we follow the lives of 3 of the women who find themselves immersed into this investigation. All 3 of these women have secrets and motives to kill their friend. Yet, would any one of them risk their perfect Hollywood lives to murder their friend? And so we are to find out. And it was very different, a different Lucinda Berry book than what I'm used to. It was good, not my fave by her, but it was still good, and I found myself super like invested in it. Again, didn't love any of the main characters, but this book did keep me on my toes. The shocking twists, it was jaw-dropping. The ending was a little bit messy, but I'd still recommend, and this got 4 stars for me, so pretty decent rating. Okay, next we have book number 7. I got this from my lovely friend Diane we chat a lot on my book stuff, and she sent me this book. I forgot the physical copy, but I read it on my Kindle, which was super nice. This is called The Christmas Wager. So there's 8 days till Christmas when Bella arrives in this sleepy mountain town of Maple Falls. Her boss sent her there. She needs to complete a sale on this little shop called Always Noel. And if she can do this, she will get the promotion of her dreams. The only thing that has gone in her way at this point is Jesse, the grandson of the shop owner, and they don't want to sell unless they compete in this holiday games that the town holds. So this is where the Christmas wager comes in. They will compete in the Maple Falls holiday game, and I'm kind of reading the description here because I did not post for myself, I'm realizing. And an annual tradition, and the winner decides the selling price, and they'll give each other a run for their money. But as the competition heats up, Bella and Jesse's icy feelings toward each other begin to thaw, and it'll take a Christmas miracle for them to admit there's a spark. Okay, this book was a great holiday read, not too cheesy, which I love. Spice level was maybe like 2, and it got 3.5 stars for me. A quick little holiday read to get you in the spirit. It was really good, and thank you again, Dan, for sending me in. The next book I read was My Husband. I've been wanting to read this one for a while, and it was short. Chapters were quick, or were short too, and this is my review. The story of a French woman who's passionately and desperately in love with her husband, and obsessively in love with her husband. However, after 15 years of marriage, is that enough? She has found that despite her efforts, her husband never reciprocates her love like she gives to him. So she prepares for every encounter with him, tracks his behaviors and actions, and even punishes him for his mistakes, all while he is like so unknowing to this. So she knows her husband so well, from the music he listens to the temperature he takes his shower. However, one day she falters and realizes she may have taken it too far. And basically what I said about this book, that this is an obsessive love story where you question how well do you really know someone. This is a creepy, intense, funny, and absolutely irresistible read. Like, not only is it a short-ish book, the chapters you just fly through them. And the ending, can we talk about the ending? Shocking, and I loved it. My husband does not stray from being quick and engaging throughout and will leave you wanting more. I loved it. I loved our main character. It is another perfect Unhinged Woman vibes. Speaking of book number 9, another Unhinged Woman vibes book. Quick book, however, it took me a while to get into it. It took me a few days to read. Short chapters. I'm a fan. A woman is obsessed with the guy she's seeing, because she always refers to him as the man I want to be with, his other girl who is an influencer, and she's obsessively tracks her, follows her, watches her stories, yet the man she wants to be with, she's also obsessed with, and she kind of just lives in this mess of a life that is her intertwined with this other woman and the man and his wife, because he's like cheating on her. And it was good. It touches on some very important topics, not only with just like patriarchy and women, it touches on racism and white privilege. So it was very intriguing in that sense. This book got 3 stars from me. This is my book club's January book pick. Hopefully my book club doesn't hate me, but I saw 1 5-star review from someone else and another 1-star review from someone else in my book club. So those are the books I read in December. So far in December. I may finish The Butterfly Garden. I was going to talk about some bookish goals I have for the new year. I want to read more of my physical books on my bookshelf. I have a lot, and I don't want to ignore them all for my Kindle. However, I could just download them to my Kindle. But I want to get to a lot of the books I've neglected to get to. I want to always have a non-fiction book on the go, and even if I just read 10 pages a day, I always just want to have one on the go. I want to get more sleep, but put my phone away, read before bed, because reading before bed always makes me sleepy. I want to make sure I'm reading before bed rather than scrolling on my phone. I want to not just read popular books. I want to read books where I actually read the description I'm intrigued, because I read Fourth Wing and like I knew I wouldn't like it, and I read it and I didn't like it. So why did I do that to myself? So I don't want to just read all the popular books. I want to have a TBR and I want to just stick to it and fly through the books. And I want to be able to DNF books, because that's always been my problem, is I haven't been able to DNF. I don't know if that mindset will shift for me, because I always feel like a sense of like FOMO of not knowing. I'm like, okay, I did not want to read it anymore, but now I didn't even finish it. I feel incomplete. Like I feel like a sense of I have to complete this, I have to finish it. I feel a sense of failure in myself for not completing it. So those are just some bookish goals for me going into the new year. I want to just read more freely and peacefully and not compete. I find this competitive side to me where, oh my god, this person is reading 100 books, my sister's at 90 books almost, and I'm only at 67 or 66, whatever. I want to just read freely and not feel that competitive side of me coming out with what other people are reading and how much they're reading and comparison. And so I'm going to work on that in the new year. So I will talk to you all soon. You can comment below, tell me what you read, tell me if you've read any of these books. Do you have any New Year 2024 New Year's reading goals? I would love to hear what everyone has to say. You can also follow me on Book Talk and my Booksta at Pages of Books with 2 S's at the end. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching.